Good evening and welcome to Start Building Me, my nightly training session to prove to you that consistency is far more important than intensity and duration of your workouts. My whole premise is that you have to work every day. Whether you like to or not, it doesn't matter, folks, because a fact is a fact and you cannot argue with it. That's just how it goes. Exercise and dieting is just like brushing your teeth, like hygiene, having a shower, going to the toilet. Eating food, drinking water, it's a part of your daily routine. We have just become bamboozled out of it like so many things in life that it's somehow some optional thing that only some people do. It isn't. Everybody does it. Get used to it. But it can be short and sweet, and that's my whole point with Start Building Me, is to try and show you that you can just get the blood pumping around your body in a whole bunch of different ways and then get out to it and watch The Last of Us episode 2 as I watched Arsenal versus Manchester United today and saw Arsenal win, thank goodness, in the 90th minute, because I had money on Arsenal, folks. Nothing makes it more nail biting than sitting there with my mate Kim and me screaming at the television and seeing her flinch every single time. Jazz in the house, good to see you. Now, Start Building Me, free without any fuzzing hats anymore, folks. We are making progress not only in the training realm, but in the realm of technology. Jazz, you will like this. The new GTX series of NVIDIA have an algorithm that adapts and plugs in to your live streaming systems, including Streamlabs here, which makes it so I can be talking at the camera like this, and it will always orient my eyeballs towards the camera. So in all my artistic glory, I can be reading, like, see, I'm about this position when I'm reading the videos. When I talk about health, I need to clarify some things. The word health is used in many ways. It can be specific or very general. And I'm just reading, like, underneath my camera here, I've just got my cue points. So I can just be doing that. So look at my eyes position now, how it's just looking sort of underneath the camera lens, but it will make it look like I'm doing that, like looking directly at the camera lens the whole time. Jesus, indeed. It's artificial intelligence as well. It's not just some, well, I guess it's all algorithmic, but it's looks like I need to drop 2 or 3 grand on a video card, folks. I was going to buy a new camera, get better glass, but I like the sound of that card, but then I'd have to switch my laptop. It's going to require a few bits and pieces, so I am checking it out anyway. See what's involved. Very cool that it works with Streamlabs desktop as well. Anyway, let's get some exercise out of the way, folks, so I can go and watch the second episode of The Last of Us. Is that what it's called? In any case, it wasn't terrible. Usually the first episode of anything sucks. Apart from Andor, the first episode to me was mind-blowing. No more lazy eye. It's not just that. It's just, look, you can set, it's sort of a bit of an art from how I've been reading. You can set your cue points up. So, like, think of like the camera height versus your cue points to make it so where you're reading it off makes it look like you're looking straight at the camera. Now with me and just the setup that I have here, since I'm trying to have more space to focus on my body, means that the angle of the lens is going to be looking down at me and my cue points are straight ahead of me. So it's always going to be me staring underneath the lens direction. So when I'm like here and I'm talking to the camera, that's how it should be. And just talking about production today with a mate who was over here watching the football, and it's like, to get somebody's attention or to get their thumbs up on YouTube to get them to engage with your content, it's like drum and bass or metal. Everything has to be dynamic. You have to be switching in different frames. You have to be changing colors. You have to be adding effects. You have to be switching in and out of stuff like it's a drum and bass track. So it's going to require some effort. So at the beginning, I just want to get the message out. You've got to exercise. Exercise. Something Not again. These damn road mics. We'll see. See how it goes. Sounds ticking, yeah, I know. It's like Lenny with Homer. It's one of those American cars. American robot cars. It's like, yeah, sorry, I wrecked it. It's one of those robot cars. Self-driving cars. Yeah, one of those American self-driving cars. Road used to be really good, and now it seems like this could be shite. Anyway, we'll give it a whirl. Maybe it's just in these super tight tracksuit pants. I'll clip it on somewhere else. I can give that a whirl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've done a 30-something kilometer cycle just then, so my legs are sore. Nothing better than active recovery. Yeah, it'll be okay. It's just the jack. It's this heavy-duty jack compared to the last one, and it's still not that heavy-duty. I'll have to think of that one. So yeah, The Last of Us episode tonight. Don't think there's any other football games I want to see. Walk the dogs, done everything I need to do. So I will be kicking back and watching some TV. I did a video today, but I'm not going to go edit it. My video for yesterday, I suppose I should, for day 14. I might do that one. It's usually pretty quick to do my rebuild, and as I was saying to a friend today, saying to Kim, that it's more of a review for me to see how things are all dialed in, and some keywords that I can refer back to in the future to see what videos I need to make for startbuilding.me. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Get the blood pumping through your body, folks. That's the aim of the game. That's what people fail to understand with exercise. You're not doing it to look like insert name XYZ himbo or bimbo, folks. That's not the purpose for exercise. Most of those people, the chicks, are using Anavar at 10 milligrams per day to get that ripped, toned, lean look. It's a steroid. And men use testosterone enanthate, which is a long ester steroid that they supplement in with Dianabol and Anavar and other oral steroids as well, including stuff like nandrolone or trenbolone or boldenone. There's so many different compounds that you add, and you can see it, folks. You can see how people are doing it, and I would know, trust me. So not only from a tester standpoint, but a guinea pig standpoint as well, and being able to look at people's musculature and the different ratios between their forearms, wrists, bicep, tricep, shoulders, trapezoids, everything, you can basically see who's on it. And folks, when I look through Instagram, when I'm sort of looking, for different information about different things, it's obviously just marketing wank most of the time. All these influencers, not only are they 20, where you don't need it, like you're the biggest hack in the world if you're using heaps of like hormonal compounds and you're 20 and you're not jacked. If you're a bodybuilder, okay, go for it, or a professional athlete. But if you're just some gym rat that's exercising, and to become that influencer at 20, you need all those compounds, it just shows that you suck at diet and you suck at training because you don't need it. When you're 40 or 50, like The Rock is 50 and he's claiming to be natural, like these people are out to lunch. How stupid do they think people are? The Rock is 50 years old. Oh, he's gone from being a Samoan Islander genetic dudes where those dudes have hair 7 days a week that's shaved off because he's obviously cooked his, hair follicles from steroid use. He's a WWE wrestler, pro footballer in college, turned movie star where they're all notoriously using drugs. And then says is natural. Like, it's just, we're in this world now where everybody is full of shit. And that's the purpose of Start Building Me, folks, is to say it's all garbage. This is what you need to do. And it's not for looks. It's just so you don't drop dead. That's all I can offer you, folks. Nothing but get your heart and blood vessels pumping blood through your body for your brain, and so you don't drop dead. I know it's not that enticing. Sorry, you know, you're not going to be some Jack the Lad at the discotheque, but you know, you're not going to die. And maybe that is what people should be focused on. That should be your purpose for exercise. For me, it's so I can breathe and sleep and listen to my ginger dog barking at neighbors. Poor people. Anyway, Keith, I just tried to flatten his battery, throwing the Kong around the yard. It didn't do anything. Undead sounds good to you. Well, that's because you've got a brain in your head, mate, and that's good to know. And I think, sadly, as I've noticed, and hence the whole purpose of this in the beginning of 2020, is everything I used to take for granted for knowing, it seems like most people don't know. And even though I'm of the opinion that willful ignorance isn't an excuse anymore, I am very much attuned to the fact that media, government, the education system, all the things that I can't talk about whilst live streaming on Facebook and YouTube, who are doing absolutely nothing wrong, and they're the purveyors of perfect information and complete information game theory. They would never lead us astray, never try to shill us cornflakes for the morning, because cornflakes is part of a complete breakfast. It's like the Simpsons where it's, who is it, Tom Jones? Hey Marge, hi. That's right, nice and gentle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And breathe, folks, as I've neglected saying this whole time. Breathe. Get the blood pumping and breathe. That's what it's all about. Another 10. A little bit behind time because on the first days after having a break for the weekend, I like to get it out of my system, folks. Rattle some cages. Insult some people. It's just who I am, folks. I used to be ashamed of that person. Now I embrace it. But quite boiling weather up here. Feeling really good. Diet is kicking ass at the moment. I got ordered in these 200, what I thought were the ketone test strips for my ketone reader, and they were just glucose strips. I was like, ran out like the middle-aged dork to the mailman who knows me on a personal basis, because, you know, I'm just always there waiting for the mail like a dork, trying to align my posture. And yeah, that were the glucose strips. So at least I know my glucose is in a fasting state, which is pretty much the same thing of showing that your body's producing ketones. So same net effect, and it was at fasting level, as I have just been having amino acids. Yeah, kind of, but it's like, the glucose readers, so you prick your finger, put it into the meter, and it shows you the like picomills per liter of glucose in your blood. So by showing you that it's like 4.6 or something, shows you that you're in a fasting state, i.e. you don't have a high level of glucose in your system, which means that your body would be producing ketones because you're not getting sugar through your bloodstream, right? So then you've got the ketone strips that takes the blood, and it shows you how many ketones you're producing, 0.6 or 1.6, whatever it is that you need. No, I'm keeping it all. You'll obviously be put through the Start Building Me routine on a daily basis when you're here. I mean, it's not like you'll be stoked, because you can learn so much information from it. And I just ordered 50 ketone strips anyway, so I just plan to use 1 or 2 just to make sure that my diet currently is giving me the accurate amount of ketones, and then there'll be plenty left over, and the glucose strips as well. But yeah, I also just put another 10 I I didn't end up putting 10 in. I got 4 kilos today of Epsom salts, and I had 8 kilos in the sink, under the sink, and chucked them all in the esky in my freezer. So it's ultra cool and ultra filled of magnesium sulfate, which is really good for your muscles. So it will be all dialed in by that stage. 1, 2, 3, stand wider to get a straighter back, Dave. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. B-Day. Oh, yeah. I was like, Jazz's birthday is in September. Even I know that. My birthday, that's right. Dave turns a magical 41 in March, folks. Switch cameras. And as I pointed out as well, Sully Star Jump, a supplement that I used to take, colostrum, when I was boxing, just because it's really good for sort of tissue healing. I was reading today on a peer-reviewed journal how it's been used for people to repair the lining of their inside of their stomach, right? And I was like, that's somebody who could potentially benefit. I'm not sure what follow-ups or anything you've had with the situation with your stomach. I went to the doctor today and have complained due to a blood result that had high urea, not uric acid, but just urea, which gives you sort of a bit of an ammonia breath. And she suggested that it could be some sort of stomach ulcer or something like that as well. So stay tuned for that, but I doubt it. I just think it was me cooking the well, colostrum, it ain't cheap. I think it was 200 grams for $50, but it's only 2 grams a day, so 3 months worth. I think it's worth it. Anyway, my shoulders are kind of wrecked. I went hard at the gym yesterday, incline shoulder press, so let me see how they go. Spread your fingers, tense your butt, dig your toes into the ground, and look forward and breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's a beauty, folks. If you have your arms at shoulder width with your thumb close to the bottom of your chest, you're going to be using your tricep. And as a result of using your tricep, that means you're not going to be working your shoulders too hard. So that felt absolutely fine, which is good. Sweet. Well, I'll have that everything dialed in. I've got 2 more weeks left whilst I'm figuring out what works and doesn't work for my rebuild series. I went to the doctor today to get a DEXA scan referral and she wouldn't give me one. And I was just like, man, my awesome Czech Russian doctor is gone now, and this 2-bit charlatan didn't want to give me a referral. And I just called up the x-ray place and I'm like, who do I have to bribe to get a DEXA scan? And they're like, just come down tomorrow and we'll do it for you. And I was like, yes, the system still works. I was like, I'll pay for it. I don't care. They're like, yeah, cool. If you want to pay for it, even better, you know? It's just like, it's ridiculous. They're just trying to stop all tests going through Medicare. And it's just like, well, how about don't make them go through Medicare? How about cash money? Are you in business? You know, it's obviously you're not in business to save lives. I've worked in healthcare long enough to know that. If you should be at least trying to make money. So I'll go get my DEXA tomorrow morning. Decomposition. And see how that goes. 90 minutes on the clock, folks. 40 more to go. A little bit extra, but I didn't really do anything on the weekend with y'all. So take your time, do some push-ups, breathe. Think about the week coming up. How's it going to be? As my time video came out on startbuilding.me, is a big kicker that I've always used as to-do list with Gmail and my Gmail calendar. Sal Star Jump getting me into the world of the diary. The power of the diary has really been life-changing. That book, you know, is amazing. Like, it just you take the note and you don't have to really refer to it again, but most of the time I'm walking around like an FBI agent with it. Like on True Detectives, Russ Cole's character, what's his name? Matthew McConaughey's character, Rusty Cole, the tax man. It's like Keith's nickname for just trying to cash in on Pats, but walking around with that book is something that really prioritizes. Yeah, well, I mean, as they should be. What's a referral? You know what I mean? Like, that's what people don't understand. What's a GP? A GP is just an ultra obedient statist, right? Not a statist. People mistake me when I say statist. A statist means it's somebody who is appointed by the state, not doing it for status. So the GP is just the person who enforces the guidelines set by the Australian government as to what can and cannot be referred to, and whether that's pharmaceuticals and the pharmaceutical buyback scheme items, referrals to specialists, because they're not specialists, and they make a whole bunch of mistakes to prove that, let me tell you. And I'm not playing down the role of the GP. The GP, by essence, being the gatekeeper, is one of the most important doctors that you can have. But unfortunately for them, they're at the mercy of the state, of the status system. So they can only do what the bureaucrats let them do. And as you know, the bureaucrats let them do what was cool 20 years ago, but is really outdated now. So when you try to go to somebody and say, look, I want to pay for this test, like my last GP would be like, referral, just like, don't waste my time on this, take the referral, go pay cash, enjoy your test. It's going to come up as negative because I know you're fine, you know? Everybody's happy, everybody's making money. Now, if you want to take the ultra status role into your hand and be like, I know what's best for you, then you're not really doing your job. You're doing what you want to do. And that, you know, I used to do that, and look where that got me. Okay, don't hurt my shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 70 style. It's good. The book's good. And like the video was saying, like a big part of what I did initially for Cerner was scheduling and registration of patients, as well as, you know, for surgery, and then booking them through to surgery and their practices. Time management is seriously the skill that makes the master. It's like we all know, from Jared's metal guitars to Sal's ridiculous level of cycling, when you were cycling whatever 60 miles every freaking day to London from the sticks, you're like, I've got to get up at this time, I've got to make sure I've got this amount of fuel to eat for my day before leaving, I've got to make sure my tires are pumped, maybe have a spare tube. It's just, you factor all these things in your day and then you do it and you get progress. With metal guitar, not only a professional tutorage on Wednesdays, but you know, okay, I've got to do at least noodle for 5 or 15 minutes every day, else you know, your calluses on your fingers are going to go soft, yeah, and you're going to just get out of that rhythm. It's just the most important thing of life that people mess up, and as a result struggle with everything because they're just firefighting, as it's called in corporate work, or just, you know, just never being able to stay on top of things. They're just always battling shit that they didn't have to be because they're poorly planned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, with my diet, for instance, which is going to be a series on Start Building Me, I have the same thing at the same time every day. The only thing that changes is sometimes, like when I have a tea, coffee, or drink water, that can change because that's sort of like on a need-to-know basis, like one of them James Bond movies. So I find that thing has to shift. But that's the best hack that I can explain to anyone with a diet, is you'll stick to it. You can find stuff that you like. Like, it's like I have, at the moment, I've changed through Pure Bulk. No, it's not Pure Bulk. That's my old American one. Bulknutrients.com.au. And there's like sea salt caramel protein, strawberry, choc honeycomb, chocolate, choc mint, all this stuff. And they've nailed it. Like 20 years ago, it was revolting, right? Now it's actually pretty good and it's got no sugar in it. If you just like, I love chocolate milkshakes and most people like milkshakes with some variety. You can blend it in with half a frozen banana and just neck it. And if you put 2 scoops in there, there's more protein in that than a 250 gram porterhouse steak, right? So it might not be the tasty mouth sensation that you get from eating the steak, but the nutrients are most certainly there, and that's what people don't understand. Whey protein has pre-digested protein which you absorb into your bloodstream far more easily than that from a steak. Now, I love steak, and the other day I spent $100 in a single day on steak, and the dogs had bloody half of it because they were just aggressively hinting at it non-stop. But the point being is that it's just like I'll just have shakers around the house that I can just put onto the blender and put some ice in or a banana and blend up. And then that means that if you want to eat garbage the rest of the day, at least you know you've covered your protein. That's the whole point I'm trying to make with Start Building Me. It's always going to be the bare minimum, folks, right? So it's like, okay, you might have a burger for lunchtime or a burger for dinner, or go down to the Seals Club in Maroubra and get tasty chicken, lemon chicken or honey chicken. You could sure go for some of that now. But you just got to focus on 2 specific macros, which is your protein and your high density lipids, or basically just something like olive oil and fat, just good quality fat, not seed oils, but stuff like butter, MCT, which is extra virgin coconut oil, 9, 10, and water. Can't go wrong with water, folks. Water is awesome. It's like just before, I was like, oh, soda stream water, grape flavored electrolytes, lemon juice and water. And I was just like, no, I just want water, just straight water. I put my new filter in that gets rid of heavy metals and fluoride, and it tastes of business. Anyway, 27 minutes on the clock. Let's do 10 more. Let's get out of here. The Last of Us, what is it? You know what I'm talking about. HBO. Always slow to get in. I'll give it another shot and watch the second one. It was like an hour and a half because it was a pilot. Somebody told me where the term pilot comes from the other day. And it was interesting enough, but not interesting enough that I can remember it. Damn it. That's what we call traumatic brain injuries, folks. Cop enough blows to the head and even interesting facts get pushed out. Anyway, breathe. Think of dinner, beer, glass of wine, chocolate bar, video game, TV, folks. In and out. That's my whole point. Exercise is minimum. 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You don't have to go to the gym for an hour and wait for machines and watch himbos and bimbo gym rats wasting your time. Just log on to some Start Building Me and do some push-ups. Always forget to explain. I'll be doing videos. If you can't do push-ups, strict, do them off your knees. It's still a push-up, folks. Look. Am I not pushing myself up off the floor against gravity? I think I am, so by definition, it's a push-up. And if you can, breathe. Let's get out of here. We're done. Tense your butt, look up, breathe. No shoulder damage, active recovery, pumping through my body. Feeling good. Love you all everywhere in the world where you people are, whether you're here live or whether you're watching later. I see everything because the cloud bot tells me who's training with me. Much respect. Send me a question if you have one. If not, see you around. not every day, maybe every other day. Come and do some training with me. It's free, and I get a kick out of dancing and talking like a clown to everyone online. Take it easy.